Hey Taylor, Sammy Kershaw, how you doing?
Sammy, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Can you hear me all right?
Pretty, pretty good. Yeah.
All right, we are rocking and rolling. What's going on, y'all? It's Taylor with y'all 106.7, and today I'm joined by multi-platinum selling artist, singer, songwriter, Mr. Sammy Kershaw. Welcome to y'all. How you doing?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing good. You're a busy man. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, we do. I tell you, but we like it that way.
Yeah.
That's what we love to do, and we're going to do it as much as we can.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of ground to cover in a little time, so I'm just going to dive right into it. I want to talk about the Roots and Boots show at the Ryman on July 31st because I've talked to Colin, I've talked to Aaron, and kind of what I'm getting is that this one was your brainchild. So tell me how this Roots and Boots tour idea came about.
Well, it was just there came a time when 90s country artists, a lot of us, we were running out of work. All that new country was coming in, and they were taking our jobs, or taking our work, and it was getting tough to make a living. I was thinking about starting to swing a hammer again, and I just thought that I had to come up with something that would work to be able to get us some work. And one morning I woke up, and I thought, I called my booking agent. And I asked him, I said, who do you have on roster there? And he told me. And so I finally picked Aaron Tippin and Joe Diffie, and I told everybody my plan. And I said, can you call Joe and Aaron and ask them if they would like to try this for a couple of months or so, see if it works. And he called them, and they said, yeah, they would like to try it. They were in. So they booked a few shows for us, and of course there was a lot of people around Nashville that said it would never work. They said, there ain't nobody going to come and sit there for 90 minutes and listen to three guys on stools and guitars acoustically, singing. And I said, y'all just hide and watch.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah, and what they didn't think about was that, between Joe and Aaron and I, we had, oh, good Lord, we had, let's see, I would say probably 75 to 85 hit records.
Wow.
And, all we had to do was each 7 or 8 songs in 90 minutes. And all stay on the stage at the same time and just... back and forth, one after another. And it started turning into a big deal, and a lot of people started coming and all that stuff. And for a show that wasn't supposed to last more than 3 months, according to the suits in Nashville, we're on our 14th year.
That's incredible.
And then we added, finally, after a few years, we added a whole band. I added a whole band to the deal. And so we could get some of those fairs and festivals and things like that. So it just kind of elevated even more. And so it's still going. It's going strong. Every year it gets even better and better. And then of course, each one of us are still doing our own tours too. So we're working a lot. All three of us, we're working a lot.
Oh yeah, and we've seen such a resurgence in the popularity of 90s country. Like, that's all we play on our station is 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And we call it the best country because it really is, just the good stuff, the storytelling aspect of it, the instrumentation. And so I'm not surprised that you're on your 14th year and it's a packed house all the time because, it's back and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I would love to hear, from your stage point view, what's different from maybe touring in the 90s to now, aside from all the phones in the audience, but I'm sure everyone's still singing at the top of their lungs.
They are. The great thing about 90s country, well, actually, 70s were rock and roll, was the same way the country music was in the 90s. But, when we started out in early 90s, well, in 90, these people 20, in their early 20s and early 30s were coming to the shows and bringing their little children, 2 and 3-year-old kids to the shows. And, every day in the cars, those 20 and 30-year-olds had their children in the car, and that's what, the 20 and 30-year-olds were listening to.
Mm-hmm.
So the little children were listening to that, too. So they were brought up on our music. So then when they got in their 20s and 30s, they were still listening to us. And in the car, when they started having little babies, those little babies were brought up with our music. And it keeps doing that. Mm-hmm. Every 20 years or so, there's a new group of little bitty children that are listening to our music. So I think our music from the 90s, the country from the 90s, I think will just keep going forever. I think it'll just keep multiplying forever.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm 31, and so I grew up, listening to this music, and your voice is so iconic. So I completely agree, and I'm very, very excited to come to the show. I do want to talk a little bit about, your music. There's so many. She Don't Know She's Beautiful, Vidalia, Love of My Life. There's so many, and obviously Queen of My Double Ride Trailer. Like, come on, that's just such a good song. But what is your favorite song to play live?
Well, my favorite song I've ever recorded is Haunted Heart. Being a Louisiana boy down in bayous and swamps down there, it just has kind of a spooky kind of lyric and sound to it. It reminds me a lot of the swamp, and the bayous in southwest Louisiana. So, and it was good lyrics. But that's my favorite one to sing because it feels like home to me.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of home, I'm also a Mississippi girl, and so I had a lot of family grow up in Louisiana. So, are you a Saints fan?
Yeah.
Who dat, baby?
Is there any other team?
Exactly. Who dat? But I saw that you have a Cajun spice, Sammy's Cajun spice, and a Cajun sauce.
Yeah.
Are you quite the chef? Are you quite the chef?
Oh yes, I am. I like to cook, and especially Cajun food. And then at one time I had hotchickens.com down there in Nashville for about 5 years, and then since I closed down years ago, there's been a lot of hot chicken places that's popped up everywhere. I had a great business with the hot chicken for 5 years, and then I was just so busy, we just had to finally shut it down. I couldn't be there all the time to run it,
Mm-hmm. You were kind of the trendsetter.
It almost ran itself. If I could have found some, a good person that I could rely on to do it all and watch it while I was out on the road, we'd still be open. I'll tell you that. The food was that good.
Oh, I can imagine that Cajun food. So if you're cooking at home, what's your go-to meal? Do you like a good gumbo? You like to smoke some meat? What do you like to cook?
I don't smoke anything. I just I cook gumbos, etouffees, stews. But as far as for smoking, I don't smoke stuff like that. It's not really a Cajun thing for us.
Yeah.
We're more of gumbos and stews and fried fish.
Oh yeah.
Fried shrimp.
You boiling some crawfish?
Oh yeah.
I got my
crawfish,
fix of it.
A lot of boiled crawfish and crawfish etouffee, and stuff like that, and crab stew, things like that. We're just, when you give it to us, we'll find a way to fix it.
I love it. So your new music, blues album that you just released in May. Was that your first love, blues, country? What kind of made you want to do a little genre switch?
No, God blessed me as a singer. And I always said that I wouldn't retire until God took the gift away. He gave me a gift, and I love all kinds of music, and I record all kind of music. My first love is country music, of course, and I like country soul music. George Jones, Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, Conway, Loretta, and Tammy Wynette was a great country soul singer. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like. But I like doing other things too, because I don't just sing country music. I like singing it all. People say, well, what are you? Country, rock and roll, blues, whatever. Yeah, and I just tell them I'm a singer. Mm-hmm. That's what I am. I'm a singer. I sing anything that I want to, and I think it just keeps the country music for me fresh.
Oh, yeah.
So I have this blues album that we just put out the end of May. The next one that's coming up in a few months I just finished it, is called Muscle Shoals. It's some of the biggest hits that were ever recorded in Muscle Shoals. Mm-hmm. And then I have a new country album in the studio right now. I got to get in there and sing and finish up. And I have a gospel album that's recorded. I got to get in there and finish singing it also. And we're already talking about we're already compiling a list of another new country record that we're going to cut as soon as I finish singing these two records that are in the studio now.
Oh, I can't wait to hear them. How do you find time to sleep, Sammy?
Well, I find time to sleep some. I never was much of a sleeper, when I'm a carpenter by trade, so all your life, you get up pretty early in the mornings to go start building houses.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can't wait to hear it. I'm so excited.
Well, I can't wait to get them finished.
Yeah. So I know we're running out of time here, but are you working on an autobiography? Did I read that you were writing a book?
Yes. We're on the last chapter.
That is so awesome.
Trying to decide now how we're going to end this thing. It's got some of my childhood things like that, and some of the music business, and a few other things, maybe a little politics here and there. But that's not what really the book is basically all about. It's people are going to really be surprised. It's the percentage wise leans more towards the spiritual side, mm-hmm. that a lot of people don't know, and I can't give it away. I can't tell you what it's all about, because it would give it away, and it would take us a while for me to tell you the whole story.
So what was it like, writing it, taking a walk essentially back through your life, starting at your childhood? Was it emotional? Was it fun?
Some of it was emotional, and some of it's fun. Some of it's sad. Some's happy. There's a part in there about my friend Diffie, Joe Diffie. It was real sad, but that was also some good stuff in there too. With me and Diffie. Mm-hmm. So and other people, George Jones and stuff like that. But it's kind of, God dog, it takes you a while to really get into writing a book, the way to write it. There's no special way to write a book, I found out. I may start talking about something, and then all of a sudden, something else I remember comes into my mind, and I have to kind of get away from that for a minute so I don't lose what just came up, and then try to go back to what I was writing, the part I was writing, and try to finish that part up. And then while you're trying that, another thing pops into your head, and it's just kind of a back and forth thing. It's a little bit of work.
A lot to unpack. I mean, you've covered a lot of ground. in your career, in your personal life. So I can imagine. Yeah. It'd be hard to choose what to put in, what to put out. So if you made a movie, who's going to play Sammy Kershaw in the movie?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. He's going to have to be kind of a Kanai type guy. And
he's got to be pretty cool.
Louisiana.
What does that mean?
Kanai is kind of a guy that loves to have fun and try to get away with whatever he can get away with. Not in a bad way, but just kind of Kanai, almost a jokester. I have no clue. I have no clue who would play Sammy Kershaw. I'll be honest with you.
There's one of a kind. You're one and only, so it'd be pretty hard to cast. But a question I always like to end on, Sammy, is what advice would you give your younger self, or give maybe a new singer-songwriter that's moving to Nashville? Either one.
Well, you can't give up on your dream, and you have to be willing to do whatever you have to do to keep your dream alive. And I'm talking about working. You have to keep a job. You have to be able to eat, and so you can't give up on your dream. But like I said, you just have to be able to keep working, and still be able to work on your dream at the same time. Especially if you have a family, it's tough. The business is tough on the family life. It really is. But that's about all. That's all I can tell them is just. And another thing, you need to make sure that's what you want in your life, because once you fool around and get it, the hit records and all that stuff and the fame and whatever you call it, once you catch that, you need to remember that your life will never belong to you again. It belongs to everybody else now. So you got to be willing to accept that,
Yeah, that's a good one. And thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of people, especially aspiring artists, can relate to that, of having a dream, but then also having your day job that essentially pays your bills. Right. And you can feel like you're getting farther away from that dream by paying your bills, but you're doing what you have to do. So I think a lot of people don't talk about that part of it enough, because songwriters, some of them are starving to death here. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
I know it.
All right, Sammy. Well, it has been.
Keep that dream alive.
Yeah.
Keep working, though. That's something else. I don't care if it's digging ditches. I've done them all.
Oh, yeah, and you said you were a carpenter by trade, yeah?
That's right. Heavy equipment operator, certified welder, plumber, concrete finisher. I mean, I learned how to do it all.
From someone who went on to have 6 gold albums, 5 million records, 100 million combined songs scanned. Let's see, what else? More than 25 Billboard Top 40 singles, and that's because you never gave up on your dream. So, well done. And you're not slowing down anytime soon. We can't wait for this Roots and Boots show at the Ryman. And SammyKershaw.com, is that the best way for your fans to keep up with you?
Yeah, that'd be a good place. And social media, I kind of run my own.
Okay, and that's at Sammy Kershaw, right?
That's right. And I just want to mention one thing. We're excited to be coming to do the Ryman. We've been trying to get to do the Ryman for years now, and finally they're going to let us do it. And we're excited about it. We sure appreciate it. We're going to give those folks a nice show, a great show.
Oh, the Mother Church. It only makes sense to bring it home to Music City.
That's right.
Sammy, if you don't mind, can I get a liner from you? This is Sammy Kershaw. You're listening to Y'all 106.7.
Hey, this is Sammy Kershaw. Y'all are listening to Y'all 106.7.